Hey everyone, it's Matthew Boland. So the 120 pre-1 snapshot made some loot tables seed dependent, and my friends and I went ahead and we found a bunch of seeds that have good loot in this version. For example, on this seed, the first 18 melons you break will drop 7 slices. Now, if this sounds familiar, it's because I posted these seeds to Twitter, and people have since spread them around the whole internet, and maybe without my name attached to them. So, but luckily for me, I guess, 120 pre-2 went ahead and broke all those seeds which I posted to Twitter. So now, I get to be in charge of who puts them on YouTube, and I choose me. One of the more popular seeds we found had the first 6 wither skeletons you kill drop a skull. In fact, already we've beaten this. A seed finder named Andrew used the Google Colab instance to locate a seed with 9 skulls. Loot tables aren't just things like mob and block drops. Here's one with fishing, where the first 4 times you fish, you get a nautilus shell. Here's one where the first few zombies you kill drop iron. Here's one where the first 5 poisonous potatoes drop. And finally, here's one where the first 32 endermen you kill drop a pearl. If you're curious, an example seed finder for these sorts of things, along with a few other seeds, will be in the description if you want to try finding some for yourself. It's not the most user-friendly thing, but if you can read code, you should be fine. But okay. There's one other thing which I want to show you, right? I wouldn't be making this video if all I had was some seeds. Due to some poor choices in seeding the random number generator for each loot table, it turns out that all drops in this version are severely correlated. So, for example, in 120 pre-2, if the first dead bush drops 2 sticks, then the first blaze will drop a rod 75% instead of 50% of the time. And this is just an example, but in fact, almost every call is correlated between 2 generators. If you take 2 generators and look at the nth call of each, those are going to be correlated. But certain calls are going to be much more correlated than others. So as a very silly example, if the 650th melon you break drops 4 slices, then the 1299th blaze is all but guaranteed to drop a rod. So why does this happen? Well, to understand that, you have to know that Mojang is using a random number generator called xoring for this. And not only that, but they are seeding xoring with an XOR of a certain hash function of the seed and a certain hash function of the loot table being used. Now the thing is that xoring, if you view its internal state as a bit vector, it is just multiplication by a certain matrix. And as bit vectors, addition is XOR. So what they've done is they've just added a constant to the seed, and then they've applied everything's linear to it. So in particular, if we want to know the nth call to this, well, we can multiply x to the n times the sum. And if we have 2 generators with 2 different loot tables, but on the same seed, so the seed hash is the same, we can simply subtract, and the effect from the seed cancels entirely. So what that means is that if you had perfect knowledge of one of the random number generators, you could lift it over to perfect knowledge of the other. And what we're doing in practice is sometimes partial knowledge is enough to translate over to the other generator. And that's what causes this correlation. That's about all I have to share. Again, seeds are in the description, also on screen now. You can see that to prevent any more honest mistakes, they have been protected using advanced seed technology. Please don't get mad at anyone on my behalf. We don't care that much. We found the seeds in the afternoon. It doesn't matter. I uploaded them to Twitter, for God's sake. So, yeah, not much you can do. I do want to really thank my friends Earth Computer, Jasmine, ZeroOL, Sharpie for keeping me motivated, help me read the code, all that jazz. And I also really, really want to thank Silver, who, when all of my footage was laggy and unwatchable, Silver went through and recorded all this stuff for me and really saved the video in the 11th hour. So thank you so much, Silver. And for everyone who's watched all the way through, have a nice day. I just wanted to make a quick correction because I don't want to redo the whole video. But in 120 pre-3, they basically added this line, right? It just burns a call from the generator at the very start. Now, this kind of doesn't break anything which we've talked about. For example, this is the offending XOR. Like, here's the seed for key for the resource, and here is the hash to the seed, but they're still XORing them, right? So the correlation stuff is still going to work just fine. It's just that this is going to make all my numbers off by 1. So when I said the first dead bush, well, this line is the first dead bush, so it's gone. But in the table which I displayed on screen, you maybe saw like the second dead bush or something was in there, or the third, and you can just subtract 1 from stuff in that table, and stuff will still work out. Yeah, that's about it. I think the melon one, which I showed too, will be slightly different. For melons do calls at twice the rate of skeletons, so you'll need to subtract 2 melon number. No, that's not true. No, okay. No, the melon will be completely broken. Okay, I'll put that in the description, I guess. I don't think anyone will care, but I just wanted to show something funny. Something like that will still work. It'll just be not the same numbers. And similarly, all the seeds in the video, there's this call in there, which I don't know what this does. I don't know why you do that, but okay. And this call, basically, it'll mean stuff like the ender pearl seed will be off by 1, but it's going to completely break ones which had more complicated loot tables. So new code, I've written new code. That'll be linked in the description. And we found new seeds. Those will be in the description. It shouldn't change your life.